Hey everybody, my name is Jared Bendis. I'm the Creative New Media Officer for the Friedman Center for Digital Scholarship at the Calvin Smith Library at Case Western Reserve University. And recently, somebody asked me if I could provide them with a caption file for this video. Now, this video was a DVD that we have permission to put in our streaming system. We paid for it, but it doesn't have a captioning system. It doesn't have a transcript or closed caption or any of those types of things that we need to have to make sure the video is accessible. So they said, is there any way that we can do this? Now, there are multiple ways you can do it. The first thing is you can get software and type it in line by line, time code by time code. I don't want to do that. I could send it out. That'll cost money. I don't want to do that. Instead, what I want to show you today is how we can mostly accomplish this for, easy and not for an extra fee using Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. It's the latest version. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start off by launching Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. While it's loading, let me tell you that the way I converted the DVD to an MPEG-4, again, legally because we have permission, will be the subject of a different video. Right now, I'm just looking at how do I transcribe a video once I already have the video. Now, I'm going to walk through Premiere Pro step by step because not everybody who's watching this video has ever used Premiere Pro, and it's a very, very crazy big program, and we're going to do it nice and slowly. So, new project. Now, when it asks me for the project, it's going to ask you for two things: the name of the project and the location of the project. People always screw this up and they have lots of untitled projects. So I'm going to call this DVD Transcribe. And I'm going to browse, and I'm going to put that into the folder that I have on the desktop called Transcribe Me. So there it is. So now I know where it is and what it's called. The rest of the settings on the screen, okay is good enough. Now I have reset my layout in Premiere Pro to be a generic layout so that we can walk through the 4 or 5 things that we need to do together. First thing I need to do is import the media down here, which I think is where my face is. So if you can't see me, my face is over the import media window. So it's right there in the corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the video basically onto my head or into this little corner here. And it's going to import the video clip. All right, so it's imported the video clip. Voila. Now I'm over here, or I'm still over here. But I basically just drag the video clip in, and now the video clip is part of my project. But I don't need it to be part of my project. I also need a timeline of it. Now, if I want to make a timeline that matches the project settings of the video clip I have, all I have to do is drag the video clip onto the timeline. And what that's going to do is it's create a new sequence, and that sequence will automatically match the video clip that I have selected, which is great. And you'll see if I scrub my playback head, you can see there is the video. There it is. It's widescreen. Let me actually fit it to the window. You can see it's widescreen. But of course, it doesn't have any subtitles or caption files because it's a video clip. All right, next step. The next step's quite simple. I go to Window and I choose Text. And under Text, you're going to see both transcript and captions. Now, we don't have a transcript yet, and we don't have captions yet, but you'll see something that says Transcribe Sequence, and a little line to the cloud. The cloud. Transcribe Sequence, I'm going to tell it to use the audio. I'm going to tell it that it's in English, and everything else I'm going to leave as is. I'm assuming the video is in English. It may be other languages, but we have to start somewhere. And I'm going to hit Transcribe, and what it's going to do, it's going to render the audio of this movie. Now, this movie is an hour and a half long. It's going to render the audio of this movie into basically a portable file. It's going to send that file up to the cloud, and then the cloud, the Adobe servers, are going to transcribe and send the text file with time codes back to me. So let's take a look and see how it does this. And then we're going to find out how long is it going to take to do an hour and a half long movie. And I could have showed you this with 10 or 20 seconds, but this is a real world example. This is a really, really good example. I have no control over the settings. I have no control over what the movie is made up of. All right, transcribing sequence, uploading to server. Don't worry, we won't wait for the whole thing. All right, so it's going to say it's going to take about 30 minutes to transcribe an hour and a half long movie. And I don't have to do anything to it. So I will see you 30 minutes. Oh my God, it's done. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It did the full 90-minute movie, time code and text. And it's really fascinating. So it tells me that there's no audio, there's no spoken word for the first minute, and look at that. Look. If I can hear it play,
Yes.
you can see. No one's talking yet. Let's see what it says.
I want you to meet Rhonda Bookman. She's the owner of the Rose Shop. It's the last Jewish merchant in town.
You know, the one really, really cool thing that I'm proud of? I was the first girl in this town to ever have a bat mitzvah.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
That is amazing. And now, I want to stop right here and say, while this is amazing, it still isn't magic. The next step should be, and I say should be because anytime you're using automated anything, the next step should be to do some quality control. That would mean I would have this up and I would play through and would watch the entire movie and I'd look for mistakes. I would use my intelligence to look for typos, and I would look and see if there are things that I could do to make this better. Now, luckily, my end of this is not to do that. My end of this is to give this stuff over and say, here it is. But even when I'm doing things like OCR, and if you've seen my OCR video, the first 30 minutes of the OCR video is how OCR worked. The next 45 minutes was all the tricks it does to correct OCR. And even if you don't correct it, it's amazingly how far you've gone, but it's not perfect. And so you've got to ask yourself what perfect is for you. So my job is to say, all right, here it is. I've got video that is tied to a transcript. Now the transcript is not captions yet. And there's a very big difference here, because if I were to come over here and I were to come over here, I could export this to a text file or to a CSV file, and I could export this to a transcript file, but it's not a caption file. And for our automated streaming servers, we need to make sure we have a caption file. All right, so I come over here and I click Create Captions, and it's going to say I want to create from the sequence transcript. I'm going to leave everything as default, just for now, and I'm going to create. And what that's going to do is going to take that transcript and the time codes, and it's create a very specific thing called a caption file. And now I have a caption file. And you're going to see that it's broken down into sort of these individual lines. It's actually now I have the caption file so I can see it on the screen as well. That's not what I need because my software is going to do that. What do I mean? Because I can now export to SRT file, and that's what I need. And if I come over here and export to SRT file, my software, our server software, is going to use the standard SRT file, which is time code broken into small bits of text, as well as the video file, and do it together. And so now this is what I could go through. So if I was smart, I would come over here and I would...
Latrobe sits at the foothills of the Laurel Ridge Mountains.
And I would get ready to fix the
It's
mistakes.
a small city, it's 1 square mile. It's 45 miles east of Pittsburgh. You notice the outline of the store where the Dancer's Workshop is. If that sign wasn't there, you'd still see Oxford Shop on there.
So did he say if that sign was there or if that sign wasn't there? And I think it's supposed to be a wasn't there. And that's the cool part about this is I can come over here and I can literally fix it. And it's much better to fix this than the other because it's already timed out. So I can come over here and...
You notice the outline of the store where the Dancer's Workshop is. If that sign wasn't there, you'd still see Oxford Shop on there.
And I think he said you'd still see. See, this is actually where you've got to go through and do this. So I'm showing you the next step. Now, it is not my job, thank God, to go through and fix this. It may not be anybody's job. It may be that we're just going to go, this is good enough, and someone's going to say, hey, our subtitles have been automatically generated. Deal with it. I'm not saying that as a nasty deal with it. I'm saying is there's only so many things that we can do, and it's very important to remember that as you move forward, that we do the best that we can do. Even if I go through and edited this from scratch, there will still be mistakes. I don't say deal with it from that perspective. I mean, I did what I could do. So I think this becomes a really important thing where, so now the next person's job is to go through and, listen to, keep the volume up, close your eyes. And by the way, don't look over here because this will like influence you. You're like, oh, that's what it says. Yes, that's what I'm editing. So you want to sort of be listening over here, looking over here, and then fixing along the way and seeing what you're going to do. It's a lot of work. So the amazing thing here is that Adobe, through the cloud and Premiere Pro, have done the bulk of the work. They have figured out where the phrasings are. They've broken it into standard length phrases. They've uploaded it to the cloud. They've transcribed it and given it back to us. Now it's up to us to polish it to the level that we have the capacity to polish it for. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it useful. Again, I wish I could tell you that it was perfect because no one's perfect. We don't, the human ear is a lot better than artificial intelligence, at least for now. Anyway, my name is Jared. Enjoy, like, subscribe, comment. There you go. And have fun.